Alright, so today's video we are talking about raids and dungeons. Developer Insights came out yesterday, so we're going to get into it. So first off, we're going to talk about the TLDR. Every year we'll kick off with a brand new raid as part of the first expansion. The following major update will then expand on this raid, adding new challenges, twists, and rewards. The second expansion each year will deliver a new dungeon with an expanded reward offering, which is interesting. The fourth and final major update of the year will launch an event that leverages legacy raid and dungeon content along the lines of the Pantheon. So basically it looks like they're just going to make more versions of the Pantheon. I prefer if it was raids and dungeons that no longer exist. I mean, dungeons all exist, I don't think any have been taken out, but the raids, I think it'd be cool if those raids that didn't exist anymore, and they brought them back that way, through Pantheon style thing. Personally, I think that'd be cool, but I doubt we'll get that. And then dungeons, well, we'll see about that. We'll see. Could be cool, but at the same time, dungeons, so. I'm not really a fan of dungeons personally, so. No hate towards them, but I think they could be a lot better. Just my opinion. Anyway, so raids are cornerstone, blah blah. So raids will continue to offer a complete pool of exclusive weapon, armor, and exotics, as always. And these are to be attained by higher tiers by taking on additional challenges. We're exploring some unique twists on the raid format. This is one area that where we will not be giving very much information about in the future, so we don't want to risk spoiling the day one experience for the raid race. This is kind of what I hope for this. I don't think this will ever happen, but I think it'd be really cool is if we had a giant raid and it was a maze. Straight up a maze. And throughout the maze, there are bosses in different sections that you can fight. Some more powerful than others, some unique, some give better rewards, some have unique things. And then once you get to the center of the maze, the very center of it, you fight the final boss, which will be the same always. But depending on the path you get there, there'll be different adds at the end, there'll be different mechanics, there'll be different abilities for the boss to do. So like one he shoots out balls of lightning or something, another he shoots out fire or something. Like, this is an example, not actuality. I think that'd be really cool. So then, when you load into the raid for the first time, it will spawn everyone for day one on the same spot. For the first week, everyone will spawn the same one of the maze. Then every week after, it will add a new set to the maze. And then you can decide where to go from there. You can go to different modes, find new things, find secrets, secret loot caches. They'll give you like special loot that you can't get anywhere else, at least to unlock there, and then you can get it other places. Stuff like that. Some shaders, some guns that you can't get, armor, special armor. Based on the path you take, it depends on the final thing, and then that's how they do it for Master, basically, is you take on the hardest maze parts, all of them, it will scale like sort of like a Pantheon thing, except all in one area, a big old maze. If you do all the hardest routes, that'll be like Master version. So once you go the first hardest route, once you do the intro in, then you officially go to the hardest route, start off, you'll get adept weapons that way, and then you go to the next place, get adept weapons, the next place, get adept weapons, the next place, like that. Pick the hardest ones to get the adept weapons. You take the easier routes, you just want to blow through and get the normal loot. Don't care. And there'll be challenges for each section and all to make it harder and more challenging, and you get extra loot. I think that'd be cool. A big raid room area where you can see from one end to the other. If you stand at the very beginning, you're like looking over the maze and you can see it all. But then once you go into it, it's a maze and you have to decide which way you want to go for loot. There'll be a whole bunch of puzzles, whole bunch of adds, whole bunch of encounters for bosses, non-bosses. And you just open the way constantly. And every time you open the way, you get some loot, and then you kill the ads for the mechanics in that section, and just be a whole bunch of raids together. Honestly, I could just put all the raids together that way. I just have a giant maze. And then all the different raids. That'd be cool, too. But that's what I'm saying. I would love to see that. I don't ever think Bungie will do that. I don't think any game can really do it on that level. Whether it be like, I don't know, 20 different options. But I think that'd be one of the coolest things a game could do for a raid. Is you go in, you start at the beginning entrance part, but then once you walk in, you just see a massive maze in front of you. And then once you enter it, you decide which way you want to go. You want to take a right, a left, straight, and then just angles everywhere, all over the place. And then eventually, when you do them all, or do the certain line of them, you'll eventually hit the final boss room where, boom, just big old boss, like normal. But yeah, and depending on which ones you went, will depend on what he does, his lieutenants and all that. I think that'd be kind of cool. So if you go one way, it'll be like Fallen and Cabal together, and then that will mean Cabal and Fallen are at the end. If you go another way, it'll be Scorn and Hive, or Fallen or Taken and Hive, and then something like that. Like, that'd be cool. Just an idea there. But yeah, anyways. So we'll see what they do there. I don't think they'll ever go that far, but it'd be really cool if they did even a small portion of a maze system. I think that'd be really cool. Raid feats are current iteration of Master Raids and Challenges have followed a similar format for a few years now, so it's time to change the formula. Starting with Codename Apollo, new raids will support a raid-specific form of challenge customization, where players can select modifiers called feats. Feats will expose and enforce rules, such as time trials, contests, combatants, or other mode modifiers unique to the raid. The more feats active during a run, the better the chance to earn higher tiered rewards. So they're just getting rid of Master Raids then in general? And that's how you get the Indepth weapons and the better weapons and stuff, is doing these modifiers? I'm not really that's what it sounds like they're saying. So that's kind of cool. Oh, that could be intriguing. Raid challenge update. On the first major update following Codename Apollo, the raid will receive a challenge update, adding new rewards, new mechanics, new feats, and potentially even new encounters. See, that's cool. The update will kick off with a raid race event and will be a venue of experienced raiders to further challenge their skills. See, I think it's cool they're adding new encounters, but I feel like they should, kind of like the maze idea, is they're not actually part of the main line. So if you do the main raid route, it's just straight line, right? But then they'll be to the side, and you can go do these extra encounters to get bonus loot or better stuff. I think that'd be cool. Then it's an option. You don't actually have to do them if you don't want to. But for those that want the better loot or different loot, they would do it, obviously, like I would 100%. So it'd be off the side. So, like, you finish the encounter, the door opens forward, you go through it, so start your way to the next counter. And then there'll be tucked to the side somewhere, there'll be a door you can go through, or a portal or something that'll take you to another encounter. Just saying, that'd be kind of cool. Let's see, hold up. I do think it's new rewards. I feel like, are they going to actually add new weapons? Are they talking like Indepth weapons? Or are they talking about actually new weapons? Because they say new rewards, which could mean anything. It could mean, oh, a sparrow, a ship, a ghost, you know, whatever, right? But if it's actually new weapons as well, like, so there'll be the base form that gives you those set weapons, which will be a few, you know, 2 per encounter, 3 per encounter, whatever it is, right? I think it's 2 per encounter. But yeah, but then there'll be the actual weapons as well that you will get with the challenge things. If you go do these challenge rooms, you get these extra weapons that are actual separate. But once you unlock them, you can probably buy them from the final chest, obviously. It makes sense. But yeah, so, or some along those lines. Like, I hope it's new weapons. I like weapons. I like if the raids started actually adding new weapons while they change and adapt and do stuff. So personally, I think that'd be really cool. But we'll see. This update will kick off with a raid race event and be a venue for experienced raiders to further challenge their skills. So we're getting 2 raid races then. Day 1, then challenge update. That's intriguing, I guess. In addition to the highest tiers of the raid rewards being available from these challenges, new and exclusive rewards will be added as well, including new weapons and a catalyst for the raid. Oh, okay. Wow. This is what happens when you don't read ahead. Is what happens. See, Bungie sometimes actually does do what they're supposed to. That's why I should definitely read ahead sometimes. In addition to the highest tiers of the raid rewards being available from these challenges, new and exclusive rewards will be added as well, including new weapons. So there will be new weapons exclusive to these challenges. And it says, let's see, the highest tier of the raid rewards being available, which usually is an Indepth weapon, right? So that means Indepth weapons will be available from these challenges, but also some other weapons that are exclusive to this. It'd be kind of cool if they made exclusive weapons to raids again, like they did in D1, where it's specific things. Like, you do these challenges, and instead of calling it Indepth, it's called like something like sort of like how time lost weapons work for Vault, right? It's called that for the raid, and those weapons are like super powered. It's super good in the raid. They do like something extra for damage or ad clearing or something. That'd be kind of really cool, personally. And then PvP, you know, they get the Indepth mods put on. They're better weapons, and they're enhanceable and stuff. They're better. They're just extra better in the raid. That'd be kind of cool. And then they have extra perks that benefit and other things too, maybe. I don't know. But it'd be cool. It also says the catalyst for the raid's exotic weapons, so that's good news, because there are so many raids that don't have exotic weapon catalysts, and it's so fucking annoying. that they don't add it with Master version. Like, because how they have it set up right now, they should just add it with Master, and they don't, and it's so annoying. So now they're actually going to add it for this challenge thing, which I'm okay with. I think this is fine. As long as they add the catalyst for these exotic weapons every time a new raid comes out, I'm happy. Because I hate several of them don't have catalysts. It really ticks me off. They should have a catalyst. It's not that hard to come up with a catalyst, even a shitty one. Or a basic one and then make it better later. I mean, it's not that hard, Bungie. So, thankfully they're doing it. New dungeons. Dungeons are an important part of the in-game activity ecosystem. I agree, but most of them are so long and pointless. Like, I hate how they've done dungeons. Like, I love Shattered Throne. I loved fucking... What was the one after that? Duality? No, there was another one. I think. Was there one? I don't know. I don't remember the order they dropped in. But there are 2 dungeons that are really good, and the rest, they just made them so fucking long, and made it pointless. You have to run 200 meters between each encounter for no reason. That's more like thousands of meters or some shit. But yeah, that's my point. It's stupid. It's not a raid. Even a raid, I hate that. But it's like, fine, raid's cool. You get secret chests and stuff. And even in dungeons, yeah, you get some secret chests here and there. But it's still pointless. It's like, why do you have to run 2,000 meters for nothing? I'm just saying, I think that's dumb design. I really hate that about raids. That's what dungeons. Sorry, that's what really pisses me off about them. It's a dungeon. It's supposed to be a small raid, not a fucking equally as large raid, but less encounters. Like, come on, Bungie. But yeah, in-game activity ecosystem. They provided an accessible raid-like experience that feature unique encounters and mechanics that demand less social coordination and scheduling. I don't know. Some of them require quite a bit of coordination. Like, if you're doing it with a team, it's not horribly good coordination. You don't need, like, perfect spot on, like, some of the raids, but definitely need a little bit of coordination. I guess they're right. Less social, I guess, technically, but still. So, codename Behemoth, Titans getting their own season, great. The second expansion of the year will include a brand new dungeon, also because the dungeon will be launching as part of a codename Behemoth expansion. There will no longer be a separate dungeon key. Awesome. I'm honestly happy about that. I'm kind of sad there's only one raid and one dungeon. I do kind of hate that, but whatever. Additionally, the reward offering for new dungeons will be expanded to include full weapon and armor sets on par with raids. Okay, I don't understand this. They drop like 6 weapons, right, per dungeon? 6-7 weapons per dungeon already? Right? Like, there's quite a few, and it's a full armor set. So, I'm not sure. Expanded to include full weapon and armor sets on par of raids. It already is. I don't understand. The armor sets makes no sense, because you already get armors. Hell, you get better armor because it's fucking artifice for the dungeons. And the weapon don't make any sense, because you get already like 5 or 6 weapons, which is about the same as a raid. So, I don't know, I'm a little confused by that statement, because that statement doesn't make any sense. You say it's to be expanded to include, but it already includes. And what do you mean full weapon and armor sets? That's what I don't get what they're saying. Am I just being dumb here? Because currently, dungeons already get like, what, 4, 5, 6 weapons, which is basically the same as raids, because raids get fucking 6, right? So, sometimes a few more, or a couple more depending on the raid, but mostly they just get 6, right? And dungeons get 5, I think, right? So, and the armor sets, they get a full armor set, so that's even more confusing. They technically get 2 full armor sets, because they get an artifice and a normal, whereas raid armor only gets 1 set. So technically, dungeons get actually more armor. Technically it's the same set, but one's artifice and one's not. One's a base and one's artifice, so I'm not really sure that statement. I know that might be, most people might not think about it, but that actually makes no sense. That straight up is a very dumb statement, because they're already basically the same, which is why another reason why it's always annoyed me. So now they're saying they're going to expand it. How can you expand something that's already the same? And technically better, because you get 2 armor sets, whereas you only get 1 for a raid. Like, what? I know I'm on that a bit, but it just, am I the only one here that thinks that's fucking weird? That's the weirdest wording ever, because it doesn't make any sense. Ow, I just fucking whacked my nail right on the fucking metal. Poor fucking, my whole hand technically, but yeah. Ah, right on the nails, dude. That's not fucking fun at all. I just whacked myself, poor motherfucker. Fucking hard steel hearts, motherfucker. Damn. Anyways, new raid event, rad event, new rad event. Okay, either that's a misfucking spelling, or that's them trying to be fancy. And if they're trying to be fancy, Bungie, stop it. It's not funny. It is, but it's not. You're not rad, bro. What the fuck is this? I hope it's just a misspelling. Destiny 2 Into the Light introduced a raid boss rush event called the Pantheon that put Fireteam's capabilities to the test. This event showed us that our community is hungry for new experiences that break out of the mold of our traditional raids and dungeons. So here's the thing, though. There's only 2 dungeons they didn't add stuff to from stuff. Like, one dungeon entire boss fights they didn't add, and then one other dungeon, it was just it was one boss fight they didn't add. So what are they going to do with this in the future? Well, okay. Technically 3 raids they didn't add full amount from. But they added most of one raid and they missed one thing, and then another part they missed another. So I don't know about this really well. Unless they're going to actually add encounters, but better versions of those encounters. I kind of wanted them to do that, where they would add, for Pantheon, they'd add encounters, like Val's first encounter, right? But have a boss involved there, so once you did all the planting of the... I guess they're kind of like bombs. When you shoot all the right symbols, right, you disable it or whatever. Once you disable all 3, a boss spawns, and you have to do damage to it. I kind of wanted them to do something like that, make it more unique. And they didn't, so maybe they will do that then, because otherwise they're just going to be having the same bosses over and over again. There's only going to be a couple different bosses overall. But overall, there's going to be several bosses we've already fought. So they'd have to completely change even more again, which was Bungie, so they're lazy. So either they add encounters and add stuff to them to make them more unique, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This event showed us that our community is hungry for new experiences that break out of the mold of our traditional raids and dungeons. Well, I mean, they were all the same as traditional raids and dungeons. The encounters might have been connected from different raids and dungeons, but they were all the same. I mean, they slightly adjusted them, yeah, and there were some changes, but overall, they were about the same. The only thing that was really different is people were forced to do Pantheon's Riven actually legit, which a lot of people couldn't do, and a lot of people didn't know how to do, and I remember I was teaching quite a bit of people to do it, so that was fun. So that was about it, though. Everything else was basically the same. I mean, there was, again, slight changes, but those changes were practically nothing. In the long run of things, they didn't make a big enough difference to matter. People only hungered for it because it was harder content and it was something different. So if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, people aren't gonna care. Like, the second one through, maybe it has some Garden of Salvation bosses, you know. Has those 2 bosses, but... Or one of them at least, but even then, it's not really gonna be that desirable. And plus, I'm pretty sure the only raids they used were because they didn't use anything from Val either, right? Or not Val, Vogue, right? Because they're not craftable weapons. Or enhanceable. So the only way they can really use the legacy content is if they update those 2 raids first. Which means Vogue and Garden both need an update to the modern system. Because that's what the point of the Pantheon was to collect weapons you didn't have, the red border as well as the exotics. Which you won't be able to do unless you make them craftable, because if it's just farming RNG weapons, people aren't going to be happy with that. When the last Pantheon gave us all the crafted weapons of all this stuff, so people will be very, very ticked off by that. Does that mean, is this like an indirect confirmation we're going to get Vogue and Garden of Salvation weapons updated finally? Is this basically a confirmation of that? Or is that how they're going to do this, is they're going to update them when this comes out? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm spitballing here, because they've used all the raids they could. The only 2 raids they didn't use was Vogue and Garden, and then there was a couple bosses from, what was it called, Oryx, King's Fall. I'm pretty sure they used the rest completely. Oh, and Crota, I think, right? They only used 1 from Crota, I think, right? Or did they use 2 from Crota? They either used 1 or 2 from Crota, I can't remember. It's been a minute. But yeah, did they even use any from Crota? Maybe they didn't use any from Crota, I don't remember. Pantheon's so long ago, I'd have to look at the seal. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I'm honestly confused about that section. Are they going to actually update those 2 soon? Because I would love Vogue weapons to be, the depth ones to be enhanceable, and that'd be really cool. But then also the Garden weapons, I'd love them to be updated. I want there to be a depth version, which I'm hoping, because of this system, they're eventually going to make the old legacy ones updated. So even the ones that don't have a depth weapons will get a depth weapons. So I'm kind of hoping. We'll see. It depends. So, okay, let's see. So in the fourth major update of the year, we're planning for another event that introduces nobility and allows our teams to experiment with legacy raid and dungeon offerings to create surprisingly aspirational challenges. Or are they gonna mix raids and dungeons together then, or are they gonna have to separate one, like a raid pantheon and a dungeon pantheon? I wonder. Or are they actually gonna combine the two? That'd be kind of cool, combining raids and dungeons together. But the dungeons aren't enhanceable, so they'd have to make them, or they are enhanceable. Well, no, actually no. The only dungeon that's enhanceable is the free one. The rest of them aren't enhanceable right now, I believe. So, are they gonna change that as well then? Like, I'm just saying, Bungie, there's a lot of questions here. We are very early in the design stages of this event, so more details as we develop them. I got over a year, so it'll be a while. More than a year, it's almost 2 years, so. Raids and dungeons in the core game. Dungeon content will also figure prominently in the new portal. Dungeon content will figure prominently in the new portal as part of the Pinnacle Ops category. Blah, blah, blah. Several updated dungeons will be available to launch and play a full challenge customization. See, they say challenge customization. Challenge says better rewards, but the only better rewards in a dungeon is, well, the armor, the artifice armor. So, this again, a lot of questions here. While raid content will not initially be part of the portal categories, wow, English, we are expecting ways to incorporate it in the future releases. Until then, now new and legacy raid content will continue to be available at their current locations along with their exclusive reward portals. Well, that's cool. I mean, that they're gonna have them eventually. But again, like I said, I have a lot of questions about this. Overall, I think this is cool. I do like there's new things. I am sad when we're getting one raid and one dungeon a year. I'd prefer 2 raids and 1 dungeon personally. I guess technically because of the Pantheon thing, but I feel like they're not going to add a Pantheon raid and a Pantheon dungeon thing. They're probably going to either mix them together as one or just have one and then the next year after have another one type thing. I assume that's probably what's going to happen. It'll be either dungeons one time, raid the next time it comes around, or it'll be both of them together, which would be kind of cool if raids and dungeons were put together. Could you imagine a 6-man fucking dungeon? That'd be kind of cool. So normally it's a 3-man dungeon, but then because it's put in the Pantheon thing, it'll be a 6-man dungeon. They'd have to massively increase, like, what to do in it for damage-wise and all, but it would still be really dope. But I don't think they'll do that, but I think that would be cool. I don't know, that's the video, that's my thoughts and all on this. I do think it's cool, and there's some cool ideals for this, but I don't understand fully what's going on because there's not a lot of info here. It's so basic and rudimental, English hard, sorry. But it is cool. I do have a lot of questions. Hopefully somebody important will ask these questions because Bungie won't ever fucking listen to me, so hopefully somebody important asks these questions. We'll see. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. We were needing 95 more subscribers to get to the 400 before the year ends. Please subscribe if you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. You have a good day. Adios. Sorry for the rant. You have a good day.